thanks to this coaching, my routine actually improved a lot, and it was actually felt less stressed studying for CLAT. Because I mean, starting में yes, ऐसा होता है, you find it so unmanageable कि इतना सारा काम है, and there is literally no way you can complete all of it. But once you start getting into the flow, I mean, the stress actually evaporates. A lot of times when you're doing GK, you may be studying it for hours and hours on end. But I mean, it feels like you're not learning anything, and like nothing is clicking. Be persistent, keep trying to learn, even if you can't memorize anything at all, just keep going.
Okay, hi everyone. We have a very special guest today, Aryan Singh. So Aryan Singh is All India rank 198 in CLAT 2026. So rest, I think we'll just try to gauge from Aryan how exactly he did it, what were his methodologies, and what was the journey of getting such a high rank. So hi Aryan, how are you?
Hello sir, I'm absolutely fine. And before we start, I mean, thank you so much sir, because if it wasn't for you, I probably would not have even been anywhere close to this rank.
So that's great that you are acknowledging. But Aryan, I'll tell you something. You were always very good, very sharp, right? We were expecting something similar, right? So, we'll just try to understand the challenges you faced and the journey, how exactly it was, so that it benefits the next lot who will be writing the exam in 2027. So before we move ahead, Aryan, just brief intro of yours would suffice the purpose.
I am Aryan Singh. I am currently 18, just turned 18 actually, and I gave the 2026 CLAT. I mean, obviously, as you can see, I like to play football. That's a hobby of mine, and yeah, that is all I could say really.
So, Aryan, which school you go to?
So, I'm actually in DPS Noida, the one in Sector 30, and it's a bit more on the rougher side. But for school in general, I would say make sure during your CLAT, especially, don't focus on your school at all. It does not matter at all.
Okay. So Aryan, I'll tell you something, right? This is what we were talking to Aryan Gupta as well, right? So he says, please don't focus on your midterms and all. See, when you qualify and when you do well, when you get such a high rank, then everything looks very different, right? If you look from the perspective of people who have not been able to get that rank, then उनको लगने लगता है कि अरे midterms भी खराब कर लिए, ये भी नहीं हुआ. So it's a very perception based. But for you, your advice would be focus on the exams, right? Great, Aryan. So Aryan, my next question would be, why law? Law क्यों चुने? What subjects you have in all, so that you can just let us know.
I had commerce, but then I took arts because I mean I was finding it hard to manage my time. The reason I really gravitated towards law must be because my dad is a lawyer, and every day when he used to come home, we used to discuss cases together actually. So ever since a kid, I was always sort of fascinated by law, how it always evolves, and how it is a subject that requires you to really think about what you're going to say or what you're planning to do. That is something that just really pulled me towards law.
Okay. So Aryan, ये बताओ कि if you are so clear about law always, so दिमाग में क्या था when you were choosing your subjects? Commerce क्यों लिए? Humanities क्यों नहीं लिए? Or was it completely you went by what interests me? But मुझे करना तो law ही है. So what I mean is, कि law was your first choice, or did you plan to do law by elimination, that I could not do other things, so I'm doing law? What's your take?
Law definitely was my first choice, and that might startle a bit of some of you, because I obviously took commerce first, right? And the reason for that is I also had a deep interest about how accounting works. So the pick for commerce was more of a interest-based choice, but yes, I always wanted to do law only.
Okay, great. So Aryan, अब ये बताओ मुझे कि prepare किए and mocks किए and GK किए, सबसे challenging part out of all 5, of course I know you, मुझे पता है तुम्हारे challenges क्या थे, but just to tell the audience कि सबसे challenging part क्या था?
I mean, I would say there are two aspects to this. One was like the academic aspect, and that was GK. and the other one was my routine, because I feel this exam is heavily, and I mean heavily, dependent on how you structure your studies and how routine you are. But from an academic perspective, I would say yes, GK was definitely really troubling for me.
So GK was so GK troubles everybody, right? So GK is one portion because बहुत ज़्यादा defined है नहीं. They say कि इतने यहाँ से यहाँ तक पूछेंगे, but वो क्या पूछेंगे तो पता नहीं पता है. So that's completely okay. So Aryan, अब मुझे ये बताओ कि ठीक है, GK को कैसे फिर किए कैसे यार? मतलब you are rank 198, मतलब you have performed decent. एक तुम्हारा परफॉर्मेंस रहा होगा जी, मतलब किए कैसे, क्या करना चाहिए, कैसे करना चाहिए?
So honestly, with GK, I'm going to be completely honest. Till the last 2 weeks, I was completely clueless. I couldn't understand anything, and it was only when the last week came around that everything slowly started to connect really. And so I mean, what I would say is, a lot of times when you're doing GK, you may be studying it for hours and hours on end. But I mean, it feels like you're not learning anything, and like nothing is clicking. But what I would say is, be persistent. Keep trying to learn, even if you can't memorize anything at all. Just keep going, and eventually, even if it's a week before the exam, like in my case, GK will click into place, and it will help you.
No, that's a wonderful insight. I can tell you, the majority of the students, they feel the same. कि I'm doing things, but मेरा मॉक में नहीं हो रहा है, मुझसे ये नहीं हो रहा है, मुझसे वो नहीं हो रहा है, मेरे स्कोर नहीं आ रहे हैं. I'm doing X, you ask X plus 1. I'm doing X plus 1, you ask X plus 2. So all these things happen, but a sincere advice is keep doing things, right? So that is something which has to be taken care of. And last तुम्हारे लिए हो सकता है last week होगा, कुछ लोग के लिए last 15 days होता है, कुछ के लिए last 1 month होता है. वो dots अपने आप connect होने लगते हैं. Then you suddenly realize कि अरे ये सब तो चीजें मुझे आती हैं. So one thing which you should never leave doing is to be consistent with this kind of preparation. Okay, great. Now, Aryan, mock analysis. How relevant is that?
So I would say mocks, of course, are really important. Always give your mocks. Mock analysis is actually, I would say, a really crucial part of your understanding. Just because when you get to hear other people's perspective on the same question, it really broadens your point of view and thinking. And I would say you can actually develop a decent aptitude for such questions simply by listening to them and listening to others' point of views on them. So I would say mock analysis is something that you should not miss. It really is quite crucial, I would say, to develop an understanding of legal reasoning and logical reasoning.
Correct. So mocks, I'll tell you, just to add, that writing only mocks is like looking into mirror and then realizing ki, oh my god, I look this. Until unless you do an analysis of it, it will never improve, right? So mock analysis, if you ask me, is the most important aspect after doing GK. You keep doing it, mock analysis karte raho, or maths is something. Okay, now my next question to you would be, जैसे तुम examination में घुसे, so all of us were like कि critical reasoning होगा and all. You saw all the analytical questions. क्या था mental frame?
So this is actually really interesting, because if you remember, during the last week, we had switched out maths for analytical reasoning only.
Correct.
And what I had done is I had done all the PDFs of analytical reasoning, at least in one question from each topic. And otherwise also my analytical reasoning was actually stronger than any of my other subjects. So for me, it was actually a good thing. And honestly, I did not panic. But I can imagine a lot of people must have, it must have really messed up.
So you became happy when you saw the analytical, or what was the reaction? कि ये क्या है?
After writing so many mocks, sir, at this point, when I sit down to write a mock, my mind is completely blank. It's like I'm in a robotic state of flow. Nothing goes through my head. All I can think about is I'm on this section, I have this much time, and I have to finish this paper.
So mocks help. Definitely. Matlab, so I can understand your mental frame, right? So anybody who has worked hard sounds the way you sound, right? It's just that बहुत बार हम लोग अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट रहते हैं कि मेरा क्या होने वाला है, और बनता भी है, इट्स फाइन. बट ये जो कॉन्फिडेंस आता है, ये सिर्फ हार्ड वर्क से आता है. ओके, सो ये बताओ आर्यन, इतना स्ट्रेस दिए हम लोग, राइट, एंड इतना कुछ हुआ. सो कैसे अपने आप को कंपोज्ड रखते थे, और क्या किए, और वाज इट द पेरेंट्स हु वर सफरिंग, ये सारा फ्रस्ट्रेशन वहां डाल रहे हैं, बट क्या था ये पूरा मोडस, क्या था?
सर वैसे ऑनेस्टली आई मीन दिस माइट साउंड अ बिट वियर्ड, बट आई मीन बिकॉज आई मीन स्कूल से आई वाज कम्प्लीटली डिस्टेंट. मैंने अपने पूरे स्कूल को पेरेंट्स पे दिया था. तो my actually I would say thanks to this coaching my routine actually improved a lot, and it was actually felt less stressed studying for CLAT, because I mean starting में yes ऐसा होता है, you find it so unmanageable कि इतना सारा काम है and there is literally no way you can complete all of it. But once you start getting into the flow, I mean the stress actually evaporates if you have a good routine. You wake up early, study till like evening, and then evening onwards you're just free. You can and otherwise I had this one coping mechanism which I actually do not recommend, was that I used to read books a lot. Although that might go against you, because I mean reading, right, you might not have enough strength after giving so many mocks and studying the whole day to read books. But if you can, I found it to be something that really allowed me to.
That was a stress buster for you.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, everybody who is watching, that Aryan has been a great student at school as well. स्कूल वालों को भी बहुत एक्सपेक्टेशंस रही, एंड आई एम श्योर ही विल डू वेरी वेल एट बोर्ड्स एज वेल. सो हम लोग थोड़ा पुश करते थे, तो मतलब आपको वो ज्यादा प्रेशर हो रहा था, बट आई एम श्योर ही इज गोना डू वेल एवरीवेयर ही गोस. आर्यन, एक वन पॉइंट यू वुड लाइक टू हाईलाइट विच यू रिग्रेट डूइंग नाउ. जब मैं अपना 1 साल का कोर्स ऑफ प्रिपरेशन देखता हूँ, तो मुझे लगता है, या फिर एग्जामिनेशन में कुछ ऐसा रिग्रेट कि मुझे लगता था आई कुड हैव डन बेटर, तो कुछ ऐसा जो तुमको लगता है which is still troubling you कि काश ये ऐसा नहीं किए होते या ऐसा नहीं होता, कुछ भी जो तुम एक टर्न ऑफ बताओगे.
During the exams I did make like around 4 silly mistakes, but I mean that is something that by giving mocks hopefully you guys will avoid. I would say one thing which I think is more relevant for you all also, and also is something that I really regret, is when your midterms come. I mean, do give your midterms, do focus on them, but please make sure to structure it so that you do not leave CLAT. What happened with me was, for about a week, I completely left CLAT, and that really killed my momentum, and it was really hard to then, make the engine start again. So I would say, please make sure that you give your midterms, but also that you don't drift away from CLAT.
Right, Aryan. So Aryan Hotana, thank you for giving such honest insights. This interview is not meant to popularize NPLC or something. It's just that whoever watches the video has to understand कि एक achiever का journey होता कैसा है. Everybody struggles with the similar thing कि midterm आ गए, unit test आ गया, इसको कैसे handle करें, कितना टाइम दे नहीं दे. सो आई थिंक एवरीवन, अर्शनूर को इंटरव्यू हमने किया है, सिद्धांत को किया, एवरीबडी गिव अ वेरी क्लियर पिक्चर कि तुमको कैसे बढ़ना. आई थिंक सेम यू डिड एज वेल. सो आर्यन होताना, आई एम एक्सट्रीमली प्राउड, आई एम एक्सट्रीमली हैप्पी. द एंटायर सेंटर इज हैप्पी एंड प्राउड ऑफ यू, right? And where exactly are you heading towards? Calcutta, have you planned, or Jodhpur?
So I'm leaning towards Jodhpur only, and okay. I'm guessing I'll be going to Jodhpur.
Okay, you think you'll be going to Jodhpur? So great, that's a great law school. So thank you, Aryan, for the wonderful year and wonderful time we had together. And I'm sure Hotana will keep meeting again, right?
Thank you so much.
Take care.